Bang Bang Niner gang, what's going on, Niner Faithful, Niner Empire? So here's my reaction to the 2024 NFL Draft. Now, first and foremost, a large segment of Niner fans were not really understanding the wide receiver pick because it was said that we needed an offensive line all off season, and people saw the Super Bowl, and that's a void that they wanted to get filled. But we already have offensive line, and we added a couple of pieces in the offseason, and then we end up drafting a couple more in the NFL draft in the later rounds. So we did fill those voids. People wanted a number one pick to be used on that as opposed to wide receiver. But friendly reminder, a lot of you same Niner fans saying that stuff was also the same Niner fans criticizing us trading up to get Brandon Ayuk because he didn't pan out like you thought instantly. Remember, he was in the so-called doghouse for a while, but a lot of you forget what you were saying about him back then because he wasn't producing instantly, and then you called him a bust. Well, turned out you weren't correct. Brandon Ayuk ended up being over 1,000-yard receiver. He ended up being great. You see what he's done. So you got to trust the process. Now, it's okay to have a difference of opinion. It's okay to disagree with a pick. But at the same time, we got to trust the process because our staff has been spot on more than not. You looked at a lot of our picks, especially in the later rounds after the first rounds. A lot of these guys have panned out. We can name them for days. So it's hit or miss. Reality. Nobody hits on all picks. Okay, the wide receiver is a business relevant, future hopeful pick because this guy was the best available player on the board for the position that they value. Wide receiver was a priority. Whether it was on your top priority or not is irrelevant. It's a priority for this team because we also understand the contract side. Debo or Ayuk, as it stands right now, one of them probably will not be here in the very near future, sooner than later. So go ahead and take the guy that can give you, that type of potential, and he's available. Go ahead and take him. You don't know what a team would have done behind. You don't know what Kansas City would have done. They was looking for receivers. You don't know who would have tried to move up to get that spot to put us in day two and take him. Like, you don't know. So you got to take him. There's no guarantee he would have been available in round two for us if that's somebody we prioritize on our draft board. So at the end of the day, Mike McGlinchey was a pick in the first round that we did some years ago. We drafted based on what we need, and that ended up being a good pick at the time because we needed that on that line. You take Mike McGlinchey out of there, if he was ever hurt or something, you've seen the production in the run game, kind of take a drop. So he was a good pick at that time. But make a long story short, guys, we got to, the clickbaits and the rumors and the wide receivers moving all over the place. This is the same stuff these beat writers and talking heads do every year. I've been saying it for years on my channel, but if you continue to watch these guys as if they're solid sources, incredible, and not understand they're mostly about clicks, then that's your choice. But these guys was talking about Debo Samuel about to get traded a year ago when he unfollowed the 49ers. And if you notice, the 49ers do not pay players that they value in terms of the budget and production. They don't pay them up front on the time. They make them fulfill their contract, and they pay them when it's time to get paid later. That's because they restructure deals. That's because they understand that they got to see who else performs. They got other players that they drafted, and those guys start blooming late in the season. So they got to make room for these guys that they prioritize. It makes sense from the business side. From a player, I get it. They don't like it. They'll start going to social media and complaining and ranting. But if you look at the Niners players like Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, those guys, they weren't George Kittle. They weren't complaining. They understood the process. So our receivers are doing that. And that's what some do to try to get more money. So at the end of the day, on the business side, the NFL draft, the Niners filled the voids and the needs. It's not a lot of holes we have. We have a great roster as it stands. We just have depth pieces that we're trying to fulfill and future talent. So to replace the guys that we have now. And that's a smart business move. That's what keeps us relevant. So overall, I'm pleased with the draft. I don't do all the grade stuff. I just wait until they actually, get on the field and show what they can do, give them some time. And then the best way to evaluate the draft is years to come. So this is my hot take on the Niners 2024 draft. We fill needs, we fill voids. We did good in free agency. So now let's put it together and make another run at the Super Bowl, stay healthy. I like what we're doing. Our team is proven to be successful and staying relevant. So we'll get it done, get some more cracks at the Super Bowl is the goal, and we'll crack. It's just a matter of time. All right? Bang, bang, Niner gang.